Because I think Huey has a shot. And at this point, I'm trying my best to collapse national unity tickets. So we'll see what happens. Socialists have some fair power. So does the AFP. The Great Heat Wave is over. People from Vancouver and LA to New York and Washington, D.C. let out a sigh of relief as the Great Heat Wave of 1936 has come to an end, and now a cold front has spread over North America. It will come to be known as the United States' deadliest national disaster of the 20th century, with an estimated death total reaching 5,000. But even as a heat wave ends, a new chapter in American history is about to begin. At least if this one's over. Disunity within the coalition. In Iowa, a number of progressives have gone into conflict with the Republicans. Republicans are accusing the progressives of alienating people needed to win the election, while the progressives are accusing the Republicans of not pushing for the policies needed to end the Depression. This fighting is driving a wedge in the coalition. Well, sided for Republicans again. We're not showing favoritism. What are you talking about? Dear God. I'm waiting for it. Fall apart. Fucking fall apart, goddammit. Should probably finish the cotton candy one. The cotton candy energy drink I've had in my house, well, on my fridge for a while. And I haven't finished in like... Last time I drank it was March. Like it's one of those that has like a screw-on cap on it, so it's not like it's been open for all that time. It's been screwed on, but still. Okay, so the thing is, the Navy's actually going to kind of help out with like naval invasions and shit, so I gotta make sure that we don't do anything with that. Let's select a national focus. My charger is right next to right on my bedside, so I'd have to reach over and grab it. In order to gain more sympathy from the North and the West, it has been proposed by the Senate and the House that the Indian Citizenship Bill be passed, effectively elevating all indigenous people of the United States from second-class citizens to full citizenship. Northeastern and Western politicians in both the major parties support this, with some Southern Democrats and Northern Republicans have deemed it frivolous. I was thinking of vetoing the bill just to fuck around, but honestly, I think... this says this is going to be the good option, but I honestly think that this might breed some more disunity, despite the political power gain. So, this is no time for populism. It's not like populism is the rise of our major opposition right now. Oh wait, fuck, we made a terrible decision. Let's watch this shit burn. No focuses. Gonna wait until, Up there we go. The coalition falls apart. The conflicts within the coalition party have spiraled out of control, and today it seems that the coalition party cannot stand together in Congress. The Republicans, Democrats, and Progressives have all gone their separate ways, back to their old rhetoric. The ever-present Capitol rumor mill hazarded that General Douglas MacArthur could save America should either Reed or Long take over. God save America, for nobody else can. There goes what little stability we have, a bunch of political power. and almost all the support for any Democratic ideology, except for Republicans. Republicans and moderate Democrats still have marginal amounts, so do conservatives. Not progressives, though. RIP progressives. Even in Kaiserreich, progressives keep getting fucked over by the establishment. God damn. We'll do concentrated industry, because that's the least useful. And I know that we need to set up America in the worst place so that when we break away, we'll be in a better position. I keep thinking I should select a focus, but that's not my goal right now. That's not what I should be doing. Because that'll help out. And we don't need help. Alright. Radio. Let's do excavation. That'll be useless. Oh, Poland has joined the Reichspakt. Yeah, via Saxon King. Here we go. The results are finally in from what has probably been the most ideologically contested presidential election in the United States has ever witnessed. None of the four major parties have secured enough votes in the Electoral College to outright win the presidency, and as a result, the House of Representatives once again has to vote for the winner of the election. This is probably not going to end our problems, but the time being, the victory goes to... Let's go, boy. Hugh Long. Hubert Long Dong. It's hard to say what the governor of Louisiana, Huey Long, exactly stands for. Some would say that his share of wealth program is clearly just syndicalism in new clothing, while others would point as his undemocratic nepotist style of rule, topped by the usage of the Minuteman paramilitary to harass rivals as a sign of his national populist stance. Whatever may be the case, President Long is liked by the common classes. His charisma is exceptional, even if he can get arrogant at times, and his foothold over the South cannot be underestimated. Kind of familiar. Vaguely familiar. Sort of familiar. Alright. We gotta wait until the inauguration, of course. Of course. Well, let's see. Let's see what the Southern boy can do. Members of the Socialist Party of America have refused to accept the results of our free and fair election, claiming that the House of Representatives has subverted the will of the majority. Jack Reed has said as much and has called for the whole of Congress reactionary for this injustice. Independent newspapers from inside the SBA have reported that the AFL are beginning to show cracks in their solidarity with Reed. Damn you, Reed. Are we going to need a police crackdown, perhaps? Perhaps... You know what? For the meme, we're doing a... I'm going to hell for this, but for the meme, we're doing police crackdown. Dear God. I'm doing better fire, so that's going to help him out a little bit, so I don't know what I'm doing, but... We'll do, we'll pass the relief bill soon. Noise joining the Third International, the dirty fucking Cindies. Hoover criticizes the president. Herbert Hoover has been vocal after the election and openly criticized Long and the America First as being a dangerous choice for the country. Hoover has encouraged both the Democrats and Republicans to form an alliance to keep Long in check. What the fuck does he matter? Get out of here, Hoover. You fucking Hoosier. Is Hoover from Indiana? I forget. It's time to look up random insults. is Herbert Hoover from Indiana? Because I forget. Herbert Hoover. He was born in Iowa and died in New York. So it doesn't look like it. Integralist of 1 in Brazil. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Here's another question. Why are people from Indiana called Hoosiers? Questions humanity will never know. Why are they called Hoosiers? I'd look that up, but at the same time, we gotta get ready for a civil war. Huh. Italian democracy survives. In protest of the election results, the SPA have launched a strike on New Year's Day, which has crippled the industries of the North. Council of Trade Unions and the Council of Professional Workers have been set up to run the cities of a steel belt during the strike. The Hearst newspapers have demonized this to be similar to the general strikes that set off the British Revolution. Uh-oh. This is going to cause a problem. Well, we gotta wait until January 20th or 20th? I think it's 21st. When the president gets inaugurated. But we will see. Do you want to fight the anarchist or do the relief bill? You know what? I think Hoover has fucked things so badly. We need to show that we're reasonable and that we will work for the common man. And if the anarchists want to stop us, then damn them. The country's social problems have forced the American people to turn to radical solutions. The two-party system has broken down, and Huey P. Long is to be sworn in as the 31st president of the United States, with William Lenke being sworn in as the vice president. In a stirring speech in Washington, D.C., Long has pledged to defend the interest of the people and put the interest of the regular American above everyone else. However, the AFP's slim majority in Congress means that it may find it challenging to pass meaningful legislation, especially in the Senate, where the SBA senators have promised to filibuster any laws they seem as detrimental to America. Oh, God bless America. Let's pass the relief bill. Long's first priority must be to offer relief to the numerous unemployed Americans oppressed by the Great Depression, even if it must be delivered via a presidential executive order. The relief bill is the first step in implementing the Share Our Wealth program. Executive Order 1037, Farm Bill Aid. One of Long's first acts was to provide relief to farmers of America. Thus, this executive order directed the Secretary of Commerce. The order enforces price controls on farm products, provides credit to farmers, and provides tariffs on grains and other cereals. This will reverse the price slump that is driving farmers into poverty. Unwilling to wait to overcome the Senate filibuster and citing the violent conflict that is going on in America, Long passed the executive order, bypassing Congress entirely. While farmers across this country rejoice, many in the country denounce the executive order as a tyrannical act of the executive branch approved. What do you have to do? Act quickly. Now, reluctant is order of a new government will need to take action, and quickly failure to act will mean the intervention by the military to solve a crisis, though even acting carries no guarantee of the political crisis being solved. So we have 50 days until MacArthur basically is going to coup us. Basic control system, why not? Let's talk about Huey Long. He's a really interesting guy historically. In a lot of ways, you look at his programs, and he seems like From New York to San Francisco, the rich and powerful protested Long's election in the Hearst newspapers and in congressional addresses. It's clear that the wealthy, whether politically minded or not, are furious at the reforms that Huey Long are passing, as well as his opposition to the free market policies passed under Hoover. This has trickled down to the middle-class readers who are beginning to radicalize in favor of the SPA. The people's voices are louder. Long's an interesting figure in that if you look at a lot of his policies and his rhetoric, he seems like a Bernie Sanders type figure of the 1930s. Like, I remember, if you look at it, he was going to primary FDR in 1936 to FDR's left to try to get his policies through. He was governor of Louisiana, then he became senator. And he did a lot of good for Louisiana, to be fair. He did a lot of infrastructure projects. He helped get literacy up. He did something against some sort of parasite. I forget exactly. I might be mistaken. That was someone else. So he did a lot of good, but he also had a reputation. In fact, he had a little nickname as the dictator of Louisiana, because he had a very authoritarian type style of ruling and leadership. He basically ruled Louisiana and more or less with an iron fist. Now, he did good stuff with it, admittedly, but he still had total power. He harassed his political enemies, and when it came time for him to run for Senate, which I believe he won. Now, he did win. He wasn't governor anymore, but he put in basically a puppet governor in his stead, and he still basically ruled Louisiana. And it's hard to say what would have actually happened in 36. FDR was still a pretty popular president, so it's hard to think that he would lose the nomination, especially since his main opposition came from wealthier type people, and Long wanted to share the wealth, which is basically Long on steroids, Bernie Sanders on policy on steroids. Basically a redistribution of wealth to kind of an extreme. Well, not to an extreme. Not communist, quite. But yeah. But then he was assassinated by, was it? I think it was one of his political opponents committed suicide, and his kid and the guy's son shot Huey Long. And so he died. They fucking killed Huey Long. So who knows what'll happen. Passing the relief bill. Okay. By virtue of the authority vested in me, I, Huey Pierce Long, President of the United States of America, do declare the intrinsic right of the poor to have relief. A new government agency will be created to meet out the basic needs of every American so that our nation's great wealth is felt not only in the upper echelons of power, but also in the lowest hovel. Also included with the executive order is a wide array of tax increases on the wealthiest Americans. While incredibly popular with the AFP's base, and hardly unexpected considering Long's share the wealth slogan, many Americans are protesting what appears to be a massive overstep of the executive power of the president. The constitutionality of increasing taxes by fiat, and how this new agency would even manage to operate are questions that has thrown the government into immediate chaos and confusion. Long has already begun campaigning hard using press releases to rail against the corporate order which would see America fall to singlist rhetoric. Sharing our wealth is the only defense, after all. Though they don't agree on little else, the Republicans, Democrats, and Socialists have been quick to denounce Long publicly across the nation for the enactment of Executive Order 1037, claiming it to be an overreach of the executive branch and the start of a slide into tyranny. Oppositions have gone so far as to disobey any law that King Long wishes to impose upon America. Jack Reed has even stepped to the podium to call Huey Long the American Cordriano, and waves a around folders of hate crimes committed by President Long's followers. Those men don't represent me. Well, we did the best. We're working with the American people. For the American people, God damn it. What do they want from us, huh? Do they want to kick us out of office? Is that what they want? Is that what they're gonna fucking do? Are they gonna step in and kick me out of office? In a highly publicized court case, Chief Justice Charles Evan Hughes has declared that Executive Order 1048 is unconstitutional. This was a narrow court case and was split 5-4 against the president. When the news reached the White House, Long fumed at the news that the court would block the necessary reforms needed to ensure the safety of America. Charles Hughes has made his decision. Now let him enforce it. That's an interesting reference. That was originally, it's probably based off the Andrew Jackson quote. Back during 1836, the Cherokee were still in Georgia, and a bunch of settlers were coming in, and they had a bunch of treaties that they signed that basically said the Cherokee could live in Georgia. But the white people, the white settlers weren't listening to them, so the Cherokee sued them. And the case went all the way to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court ruled, hey, you guys had an agreement. You can't go back on your word. You got to listen and let the Cherokee have her land. And Jackson, in his Jacksonianness, I guess, basically said, the Supreme Court has made their decision, and watch, now let's see if they can enforce it. Sent the army in, and Trail of Tears. So, not a very nice part of American history.